Imagine navigating a vast ocean without a compass, drifting aimlessly at the mercy of every wave. That is existence without self-belief. It does not matter how brilliant your mind is or how pure your heart may be. If you allow the shadows of fear and hesitation to dictate your every move, you will never unlock the treasure chest of your true potential. Far too many souls walk this earth in silence, terrified of their own voices, paralyzed by the possibility of failure, and hiding from the spotlight. Stay with me until the very final second, because the story I'm about to share isn't just a tale from the past. It might just be the mirror you need to see your own strength today. In the heart of a bustling, dusty merchant city, there was a man who made his living trading salt. He was a hard man, practical and stern, with a wife and 2 sons. The difference between the brothers was stark. The younger was a firecracker, bold, loud, and charming. The elder, however, moved through the world like a ghost. He was painfully introverted, his eyes always fixed on the ground, his voice rarely rising above a whisper. The world can be cruel to the quiet. Neighbors and strangers alike mistook the elder son's silence for stupidity. They mocked him, cut in front of him, and cheated him, knowing he would never fight back. The father, a man who valued strength above all else, looked at his son with growing disdain. His harsh scoldings and constant criticism became a daily ritual, chipping away at the boy's spirit until there was almost nothing left. This crippling lack of faith bled into every aspect of the boy's life. In school, his hand would shake so violently during exams that he could barely hold a pen, causing him to fail tests he knew the answers to. As he transitioned into adulthood, his father reluctantly brought him into the family trade. The young man agreed, not out of passion, but out of a desperate fear of disappointment. Yet his anxiety was a wall he couldn't climb. He fumbled his words with customers and made simple errors that cost them money. The tension reached a breaking point one afternoon. While the father was away, a group of con artists entered the shop. Sensing the young man's fragility, they spun a web of lies, claiming the father had authorized them to collect the entire stock of salt for a city contract. The young man, too terrified to demand proof or cause a scene, stood by and watched as they stripped the shop bare. When the merchant returned to find his warehouse empty, his rage was volcanic. He didn't just scream. He destroyed the last of his son's dignity. "You are a curse on this family," he roared. "You have ruined everything I built. Get out of my sight and never return." Crushed under the weight of guilt and rejection, the young man felt his world collapse. The mockery of the town, the hatred in his father's eyes, and his own internal voice calling him a failure became too much to bear. With a heavy heart, he wandered to the edge of the rushing river as twilight fell. The water looked dark and final. Shame choked him as he thought, "I am a mistake. The world is better off without me." Just as he prepared to surrender himself to the current, a rough hand grabbed his arm and yanked him back onto the gravel. It was an old sage from the village. The young man lashed out through his tears, screaming, "Why did you stop me? My life is empty. I am good for nothing." The old man held his gaze calmly and spoke with a voice like deep earth. "My son, life is a singular gift. To throw it away is the only true failure. If you breathe, you can fight. If you fight, you can win. But if you jump, you will never know the warrior you could have become." The boy wept, his defenses crumbling. "But I am weak. I am shy. My own father despises me, and I have no education. Everyone says I am a fool. Why should a fool keep living?" The sage's expression hardened into determination. "Come with me," he commanded. Confused and exhausted, the young man followed him to a modest hut at the edge of town. "I hold the remedy for your suffering," the wise man said, "but it comes with a price. You must obey me completely for 3 days. Complete 3 tasks and I promise your life will change." Desperate for any flicker of hope, the young man agreed. On the first day, the sage gave his order. Go into the market. Speak to 10 strangers. Ask them about their day, their struggles, their joys. Do not return until you have heard 10 stories. The boy was terrified. His heart hammered against his ribs like a trapped bird. But he forced himself to approach the first person. Then the second. Some walked away, but others stopped. They smiled. They spoke. By sundown, he hadn't just spoken to 10 people. He had connected with them. He realized that strangers were not monsters to be feared, but people just like him. On the second day, the sage pointed to a group of village children. "Today you will be a teacher. Gather them and explain the importance of water to life." "I cannot," the young man panicked. "I am uneducated." "They will laugh at me," the old man smiled gently. "They do not know your grades. They only know what you tell them. Speak what you know to be true." Trembling, the young man stood before the children with a glass of water in his hand. His voice cracked at first, but as he saw their curious eyes, he steadied himself. He spoke of thirst, of rain, of life. He finished to the sound of applause. In that moment, the paralyzing fog of incompetence began to lift. He realized he had a voice worth hearing. On the third and final day, the sage delivered the hardest blow. "Now, you must return to your father and apologize." "Impossible," the young man gasped. "He will never forgive me. He will kill me, if you do not face the source of your fear." The sage warned, "The other days mean nothing." Summoning every ounce of his newfound courage, the young man walked back to the shop. He stood tall before his father, looked him in the eye, and apologized not with the whimpering tone of a victim, but with the accountability of a man. He promised to rebuild what was lost. The father, stunned by the transformation in his son's posture and tone, saw not a cowed child but a determined adult. He nodded slowly and granted him a second chance. The young man raced back to the sage, breathless. "I did it. Now, please tell me the secret. What is the magic formula for success?" The wise old man chuckled softly. "You have already used it. The enemy was never your shyness, it was your fear. The world acts as a mirror, reflecting back the image you present to it. If you walk as a victim, they will treat you as one. If you walk with purpose, they will move out of your way." With tears of gratitude, the young man bowed. "I see it now. I will never let fear hold the pen to my life story again." Years later, that trembling boy became a titan of industry, renowned not just for his wealth, but for his commanding presence and unshakable confidence. Let this be a lesson etched into your mind. Self-confidence is not a trait we are born with. It is a muscle we build in the gym of adversity. It does not matter how quiet you are or you start. If you challenge your fears, the walls around you will turn into doors. The boy believed he was born to drown, but he learned to swim against the tide. Step out of your comfort zone. Take the risk. Believe in your own worth. You possess a reservoir of strength you haven't even touched yet. If this story sparked a light within you, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments below so we can reach more souls who need to hear this. I will return soon with another journey. Until then, stay patient, stay grateful, and keep climbing.